10 pebbles were used in courts of justice in rendering judgment or voicing an opinion of either innocence or guilt. White pebbles were used for pronouncing innocence, acquittal. Black ones for pronouncing guilt, condemnation. The white pebble given to the conqueror therefore appears to mean Jesus' judgment of him as innocent, pure, clean, passing Christ's approval as a disciple. See jewels and precious stones. Rock mass. Stone cutter. A hewer of stone. One who cuts, carves, or dresses stones to be used for building purposes. 2 Chi 12. 11, 12. 2 Ch 24. 12 King David made alien residents in Israel stone hewers to hew squared stones, cutting them to the proper size for the prospective temple of Jehovah. 1 Ch 22. 2, 15. Compare 1 Chi 6. 7. See quarry. Stone pavement. A paved place at Jerusalem, where Roman governor Pontius Pilate sat on the judgment seat when Jesus Christ was before him for trial. Joe 19. 13. The site was called, in Hebrew, Gabbatha, a word of uncertain derivation and possibly meaning hill, height, or open space. The Greek name for it, though Shroud and stone pavement, may indicate a tessellated pavement, one of ornamental mosaic work. The stone pavement where Jesus appeared before Pilate was in some way associated with the governor's palace. Joe 19. 1-13. It may have been an open area in front of the palace of Herod the Great. Some scholars favor identification with a site near or a central court within the Tower of Antonia, NW of the temple grounds. But the exact site of the stone pavement remains unknown. See Antonia, Tower of Governor's Palace. Stoning. Under the law, a wrongdoer deserving capital punishment usually was pelted to death with stones. The 20. 2. This was to clear out what was bad from their midst. All Israel would hear of the punishment, and fear of such wrongdoing would be instilled in their hearts. The 13. 5, 10, 11. 22. 22-24. In stoning an evildoer, they showed that they were zealous for true worship, anxious to see that no reproach came upon God's name, and desirous of maintaining a clean congregation. Before a wrongdoer could be stoned, at least 2 witnesses had to give harmonious testimony against him, and thereafter they cast the first stones. 24. 14. 17. 6, 7. The prospect of being the executioner made a person think searchingly in giving evidence, and doubtless was a deterrent to false testimony, which, if discovered, would cost the lying witness his own life. 19. 18-20. Stoning no doubt usually took place outside the city. New 15. 35, 36. 1 Chi 21. 13. Contrasted at 22. 21. Thereafter, as a warning, the corpse might be impaled on a stake, but not beyond sunset. It was buried that same day. The 21. 21-23. Jesus spoke of Jerusalem as the killer of the prophets and stoner of those sent forth to her. Mount 23. 37. Compare Heb 11. 37. Christ himself was threatened with stoning. Joe 8. 59. 10. 31-39. 11. 8. Stephen was killed in this manner. Acts 7. 58-60. At Lystra fanatical Jews stoned Paul and dragged him outside the city, imagining he was dead. Act 14. 19. Compare 2 Co 11. 25. For offences carrying the penalty of stoning, see Crime and Punishment. Storage cities. Cities especially designed as government storage centers. Reserves of provisions such as grain, as well as other things, were preserved in warehouses and granaries built at these locations. Under Egyptian oppression, the Israelites were compelled to build cities as storage places for Pharaoh, namely, Pithom and Ramses. X1. 11 storage cities were also built by Solomon. 1 Chi 9. 17-19. 2 Ch 8. 4-6. Later, as King Jehoshaphat prospered, He went on building fortified places and storage cities in Judah. 2ch 17. O textoi acute miritra longo. Stalk 1038 facilities were common in ancient times. 1ch 27. 25. 2ch 32. 27, 28. Jo 1. 17. Hag 2. 19, and certain cities served principally as storage centers. X1. 11. Storehouses were needed in conjunction with the sanctuary to take care of the tithes and contributions from the fields, orchards, and vineyards given by Israel to the Levites. Mal 3. 10 certain Levites were put in charge of the stores, and they distributed such provisions to their brothers. 1ch 26. 15, 17. Ne 12. 44. 13. 12, 13. In ancient Egypt, granaries varied in structure, one type resembling the present-day silo. It had